What makes the Suicide Squad so lit is the fact that they're all bad guys on a mission to do good. I came from uptown, way uptown.
Renegade,
I came from
renegade,
uptown,
renegade,
way
renegade,
uptown.
renegade.
I came from uptown, way. Ayy. So I checked out The Suicide Squad. It was directed by James Gunn. This is definitely one of the best comic book films I've ever seen. It's like comparing night and day when compared to the original. The original was fun to watch, but the story was kind of weak. Switching up the director and adding Idris Elba and John Cena after Will Smith dropped out was definitely a power move. The film was funny and action-packed. I was expecting it to be violent, but not as graphic as it turned out to be, which is why it's rated R. The visuals and animation used to bring it to life were on point. At first, I was kind of skeptical about the villain Starro, but as the film played out, I think we can all agree he was the perfect villain for this flick. In the film, a savage US government employee named Amanda Waller coerces and recruits supervillains from prison to form the Suicide Squad for a secret mission in exchange for their freedom. Bombs are implanted in their necks that she will detonate if they try and dip or get out of line. The squad's mission is to sneak into a fictional island called Corto Maltese, where the government was recently thrown out of power by a violent coup. On the island, the squad has to break into a heavily guarded fortress and destroy a secret alien experiment called Project Starfish. Project Starfish involves an alien monster named Starro the Conqueror. Starro is a psychic starfish that's a parasite. It floats through space, enslaving any planet society that it happens to crash land on. Starro was chilling out in space, minding its own business before some American astronauts captured it during the Cold War. It can control people by releasing spores, which are mini versions of itself that attach to people. These spores feed on their hosts and allow Starro to control a person's mind and body. The US government peeped Starro's abilities after it took control of the astronauts that found it and decided to try and weaponize its abilities. They brought Starro back to Earth and made a deal with the fictional Corto Maltese government to conduct their horrific, illegal experiments on people on their island in secret for decades. Starro gets more powerful and grows larger with the more people that its spores take control of. In the film, it gets as big as King Kong. Starro shares a psychic link with its tiny spore duplicates that completely control people after they attach to them, with its unblinking eye staring at all times. The spores feed on their host's body and minds while giving energy back to Starro, which makes it grow larger and stronger. Starro can also shoot lasers from its tentacles, but we ain't see it do that in this film, and regenerate. It also has tentacles that it uses to grab people and attack with. The story was cool and filled with drama, and I love the way the movie played out. The shootouts were over the top, and they featured some dope weapons like Bloodsport's futuristic arsenal. The main members of the Suicide Squad are the lunatic Harley Quinn, that's played by Margot Robbie. She was in the first film and returns for this one. I'd say she played her role the best. She's joined by Bloodsport, played by Idris Elba, and Peacemaker, played by John Cena. Both are expert shooters and assassins. Polka Dot Man was also recruited. He's played by David That Small Chain. He's able to release polka dots from his body that incinerate everything in their path. He looks goofy, but his abilities are nothing to play with. The Shark King was also recruited for the squad. He's just a big, dumb, hungry shark man with an appetite for human flesh. He was voiced by Sylvester Stallone. Lastly on the squad is Ratcatcher, played by Daniela Melchior, who can call on rodents from anywhere for help. She can use the rats that she calls on as her personal army. I'd say she had the most ridiculous ability, but by the end of the film, I think we can all agree her ability came in clutch. There were other supervillains recruited for the suicide mission like Blackguard and TDK, but they played a minor role. Lots of bodies get dropped throughout this film, including some Suicide Squad members, but all the characters held it down and all the actors played their roles well. I don't want to say that Idris Elba is a better actor than Will Smith, but his portrayal of Bloodsport was way better than Will Smith's portrayal of Deadshot. Idris was 2G in this film. Adding him and switching up the director took this film to a whole nother level. This film was hella refreshing. It's the best movie I've seen all summer. It was filled with twists and non-stop action sequences. Shout out to DC Comics. This was definitely an improvement from the original, and I'm looking forward to the sequel. So I'm gonna go ahead and run the Suicide Squad 4 mics. Let me know what y'all thought about the film in the comments below. It's absolutely free for y'all to support the channel. Doesn't cost y'all a dime to hit that like and subscribe button. So make sure y'all do that. And I'm going to get up with y'all on the next video, alright? Holla at me. I came from uptown, way uptown. I came from uptown, way uptown. I came from uptown, way